I wasn't ready.
Oh.
I'm trying to get buckled.
Safety first, kids. Safety first. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So today's video is a little bit different. We are going to tell you the story of how we met, which is kind of scary.
No, it's a true romance story.
It is, but it's funny.
It's a true love story.
But in order to save time, because Tyler is leaving today, we are going to lunch right now, and we're going to tell you the story on the way to lunch, vlog style. So let's go.
So who wants to start, me or you?
I guess I'll start.
You want to start?
We'll do like both sides. So
You can give the background.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I was in a sort of long relationship, and then I got out of the relationship. A couple months had passed, and I decided that since I was in a relationship when the whole Tinder thing started, that I would get the app and just see what it was about. Like, I wasn't taking it seriously, but I was just like, I'm just gonna go on here and, you know, see what it's about. So I joined Tinder, and I actually didn't meet Tyler at first. I deleted my Tinder, and then for some reason I decided to like put it back on, and the very next day I met Tyler on Tinder.
So here's how my side went though. So I was single for a few years at that point, and I joined Tinder just for the heck of it, because I was like, just for fun, see what happens. Wasn't like expecting anything from it, especially from like the what do you
romance
call it?
side,
Well, no, not the romance, just the image that Tinder has. But I was like, we'll just try it for fun and just see what happens. So I last year in April went down to Disney for spring break. I was by myself, but I mean, I met up with a couple of my friends, my friend Lindsay, and I met up with some friends from school. But on my last day there, I got a match that on my profile that came up as Caitlin from Winter Haven, Florida, and my heart melted just by the look of her picture. I'm one that I do read the profile, so like I see what their interests are.
Yeah.
And when I went through Caitlin's interests and things, I thought that it was like, oh wow, she loves Disney. She seems like a down-to-earth person. She has her head straight, so I'm gonna send her a message.
Okay, but side story, so like if you don't know how Tinder works, it only matches you up with people in your area. Tyler lived in Kentucky, so I thought he lived in Orlando. But I thought it was, the crazy thing about it was I deleted my Tinder profile and then I uploaded it, and he just happened to be here.
Yeah.
Like if I wouldn't have uploaded my Tinder at that exact time, like I would have never met him.
Because I was leaving the next day that we matched up. So I sent her the message first, and I sent her my very first question to her was the most romantic question you'll ever hear, and I asked her, what is your favorite Disney character?
Yep.
And then that's how it all began.
I have a screenshot of it, so I will put it in the video somewhere. But yes, his first question to me was, what's your favorite Disney character? And I actually thought that like he just read my profile and he was thinking like, oh, she likes Disney, I'm gonna attract her that way. I didn't really think he liked Disney. He was an older guy, like, you know, he was 25, I'm 21, which is not really a big difference. But
you were 20 at the time.
Oh yeah, I was 20.
You were 20. Now I'm 26 and you're 21.
It's not really a big difference. It's just when you're meeting like a stranger, I guess it's like more maturity level wise. Like I thought he was probably like way past what I am. I don't know. And that's not
Are you
what
calling
I mean.
me? Are you calling me really mature and old?
Yes. But so we started talking, and I actually, Tyler like kicks himself over this, but I almost stopped talking to him because like he was at Disney. It wasn't the last day because you were still at Disney.
Was it not the last day?
No.
Maybe it wasn't, but it was like one of the last days.
Yeah, he was at Disney, but I didn't know that. Like, I had no idea he was at Disney. And so he was taking like forever to answer my messages. Like, I would message him at 9 o'clock in the morning, and he wouldn't message me till like 8 o'clock that night.
Because I was having a magical time.
I'm like, oh, he's not interested. I'm not gonna like talk to him anymore or whatever. And then once I started like feeling that way, because I'm like, I'm just gonna back off. You know, I was talking to like a couple other people. He ended up asking for my number, and then it just kind of took off from then. So we talked for about 3 months before we met. Like, we stayed on the phone for hours every night. Like, we knew everything about each other except meeting. Like, we had not met, like, physically.
Right.
But
she didn't find out a few weeks into it that I lived in Kentucky.
Yeah, I still thought he lived in Orlando until he said something about being in Ohio. I'm like, oh, are you visiting? He's like, no, I live here. And I was like, oh. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have continued with the relationship if we weren't so deep into it by then. Like, he was so different to me, and I just clicked with him so well, and we could talk to each other about anything, that I was just like, I'm just gonna do this. And it just so happened that he was gonna come to Disney World again in June, the end of June. So we're like, okay, we're gonna get to know each other. And then we were like, okay, we're gonna meet. You know, he's coming down in June with his family for 10 days. So it just kind of worked out very well. So that was the first time of us physically meeting, but this is kind of just how we met in general. I mean, I knew I loved him before I even met him. And that's hard for me because I'm not one to like fall in love very easily. I've never been in love. You know, I was in a long relationship, and I loved the person, but as more of like a friend way. But it was a completely different feeling with him. And we hadn't even like FaceTimed or anything. Like, we didn't talk like physically, like picture wise, until the very night before he came. He ended up like FaceTiming me, and I was so scared because I was like, it's gonna be so awkward, I don't know what to do. But we just talked. So that's kind of how we met.
I mean, the first time we Skyped too, hon, like it was flawless. Like, it was like we knew each other for months already, which we technically did.
We did. We talked for 3 months.
But we never talked face to face. But I mean, when we started seeing each other for the first time, I was in Disney World with my family, so she got to know my family the first few days.
Which we will do another video on that, because this video is kind of getting long. So we're gonna make a part 2 of this on how we actually met, like physically in person. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Tinder, you should sponsor us, because now we're getting married.
Yes.
So,
come on, Tinder, get on it.
So long story short, if you're...
Daddy needs a new car.
You got a new car.
I know I do, but so.
Long story short, like, if you are skeptical about meeting someone online, it can work, it can happen.
Just be careful.
Just be careful. I went on like a crazy date experience before I met him. If you want to see a video on that, I can make that. It was kind of like crazy, and I don't know why I didn't stop like right after that. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. We just got to Crispers. We're gonna eat some lunch, and then we will film part 2. So we'll see you guys real soon.
See ya.